We've got to say a big thank you to the legend Tank Roberts for joining us. The winner of the LV Nopen, the Las Vegas Nopen. Tank, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. How are you doing, first of all?
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. It's been a while since the no pronounce it. Was it 3 years?
It feels like three. It could be, it's either 6 months or 10 years. I'm not sure. COVID's messed up my sense of how time works so badly that I don't know. It seems like the other day in some ways. It was an amazing thing, though, to be a part of, right? The Nopen, just the way Val and a whole bunch of others from the community and the Falcon and Adam and a whole lot of others, just everybody came together and all these people like yourself and Hellstorm Mikey and the Titans guys and all from all around the world came together to make this thing happen. How did you get involved in it?
Yeah, it was incredible, and I'd just like to lead off by sort of like once again thanking the likes of Val and the Falcon and everyone involved because it was a really special and unique thing, and it's certainly one of like the highlights of my sort of hobby career, if you like. So the way I got involved, I'm friends with Mikey Herbert, who runs Hellstorm Wargaming, and obviously he's the main man there, so he was going to be putting a list in and taking part himself. But he sort of found out he needed a second person, and given that I was one of the people who'd been involved with the channel and was into my competitive gaming, I was lucky enough to get an invite to take part, and yeah, the rest is history, I guess.
Maybe we need to take a step back and just refresh people's memories for how this worked, because the idea was you'd come up with a list and you'd play, and then if you won, you'd hand the list over to someone else, and then they would play a game with that same list, and then if it kept on winning, your list would make the final. Is there anything else we need to add to that? Is there any other detail that we need to put in so people understand?
No, I don't think so. As you say, it was a very clever concept, and I always like it was my list that won. To clarify, not exactly me personally, because it actually went through like three pairs of hands on its way to winning the final, and the other hands were sort of safer hands than mine. But yeah, it was basically I played the first couple of games with it, and then it went on to
Right.
Manny Chima, and then on to John Lennon in the final. So it's a lot of fun.
They're not bad names, eh? They're not bad guys to have in charge of the list that you've designed.
Yeah, safe pairs of hands for sure, and the sort of the chat between the players was a really interesting element of it too. Because when I was going into my second game, which was against Mikey piloting Siegler's Necron list,
Right.
Manny Chima actually rung me the night before that game, and he was saying, "I'd love to use your list in the semi-final. I think you can beat the Necrons on this mission, so you need to play it like this, and that." And I know Mikey sort of had some chat with Siegler as well. So, and then when my list progressed to the final, I was getting messages from John then saying, "Oh, how do you play this? Is there anything I need to be aware of?" And that
Right.
side of it was really fun and interesting.
That actually is amazing, and it's a great behind the scenes that I don't think people will necessarily be aware of, even if they had followed it at the time. These kind of conversations that are going on about how you'd play the list or how you should play the list with guys like Chima and John Lennon. I mean, that as a guy like you, that has to be invaluable, really, getting that level of input and help, and also getting to know those guys.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been to a lot of tournaments. I go to a lot of tournaments. I'm usually a sort of upper middle table kind of guy. Normally like a sort of 4-1, 3-2 kind of player. So to be sort of mixing in those kind of circles was pretty special. And there was an interesting dynamic to the list design in that I think some of the in hindsight, I think some of the top tier players, I think they submitted lists that they could beat the world with, but they perhaps didn't consider that like lesser players might have to pilot it on the way and they can't really get the best out of it. And I know
Right.
Siegler was a bit upset with some of the sort of well-intentioned misplays that Mikey made with the Necrons, and I suspect it would have been a different story if I'd have had to play Siegler piloting the Necrons, but it's the nature of the game, wants it.
I suspect it's a different story for anyone who has to come up against Siegler with almost any list. So that's not, and you've maintained those relationships, right? You've really kind of maintained conversations with a whole lot of those people that you met through doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of got to know some of them better through that, particularly John, who I'd actually never spoke to before that. I did know Manny quite well already because we'd like shared a room at one of the real LVOs previously. Obviously good friends with Mikey, and I had actually been to a couple of the previous real LVOs, if you like. So I had sort of had chance to meet a lot of the guys, and luckily sort of I felt quite comfortable in sort of pestering them with questions and what have you.
Yeah, great. And are you keeping an eye on things still with competitive 40K? You're still playing and still involved and still into tournaments?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I soon after the Nopen, when the 40K meta went through a bit of a rough time, when we had like the first nasty Drukari meta, and then when Tyranids were really bad, I actually went into the wilderness for a little bit and sort of dabbled in a bit of Age of Sigmar and Marvel Crisis Protocol, but I've been sort of back with a vengeance in the last 6 months or so, really enjoying it again. Painting up an orc army at the moment, and I've got a couple of events lined up, including like the Warhammer Fest GT, which is in my hometown Manchester in April.
Brilliant. Well, good luck with that, mate. Thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. It's nice to chat to you. I feel like we've been in touch multiple times since the Nopen, just saying hi, online, but never actually spoken to each other. So it's nice to talk to you finally.
Yeah, lovely to speak to you, Steve, and good luck with the rest of the interviews.